The name of the project I was involved in, born into, effectively, was named Project Ibis, and it was run by the NSA MI6. And it was tracking 42 children from different countries, and all those children were brought to a facility in Canada in the Rocky Mountains, underneath a small town called Nelson. And
what countries? Why were they selected?
According to the file information that I've seen, they were selected for because their DNA. The NSA information that I've seen says that we have what they call blood prime, which it states Anunnaki DNA.
What is blood prime? What specifically are the differences?
I think it's a type of alien DNA, human, alien, hybrid.
Is there any particular rhesus negative, positive, or anything like that?
I think there's the rhesus negative factor in it, the Anunnaki DNA that the NSA were looking for.
So explain who the Anunnaki are. I mean, there's lots of different versions or different things about the Anunnaki. What is this kind of Anunnaki, or precisely?
That term's bandied around a lot. Our group there were Germanic roots, Aryan roots, which I would say connects to Aldebaran in the Pleiades. So I think Anunnaki, is a Sumerian word that just means visitors from the stars or something like that. So I think in our particular group, our heritage was, we discussed this before in the last interview, I think. That goes back to France, Germany, Bavaria, Greece, and the Middle East. Goes back, and
to Egypt?
Yeah, definitely Giza? Connections with Egypt. Yeah, the tribe of Dan and Kaish. Yeah, definitely.
So
this is a white race, a white Germanic, Aryan race. I don't mean just blonde hair.
How are the children selected as such? I mean, does that mean there's some means of selecting? Is it from different, birth, other people's bloodline, medical records?
I think the mothers were selected, and the embryos were cloned embryos grown in an artificial environment, test tube babies. And I think my understanding, those embryos were then implanted into specific women who gave birth, and then at the time of birth the children were transported to the underground facility in Nelson, in Canada. The name of that facility was Q552.
Where's Nelson? Is it Manitoba, Winnipeg, somewhere?
That's a small town in the Rocky Mountains. It's in British Columbia, Canada. So we were all taken there at the time of birth. Some from America, I think. There was some from South America, obviously some from the UK. I don't know who the other 42 children are. I've got a rough idea now.
Why 42?
I don't know.
Is it just that's what the sample was? There's no significance in it?
I don't know. I'm sure there's significance in it somewhere, but I don't have no information. Many of the children were transported on private CIA jets, small charter jets.
Or
just like Learjets?
Yeah.
And transported there.
What's the program? What specifically is the purpose of it? There's a lot of effort being put into this then. Why?
Project Ibis is, again, the Nazi connection. The name comes from the Giza intelligence group underneath the Giza pyramids, the Nazi group in World War II.
What Nazi group is this?
It's known as the Giza intelligence, the Nazi group.
Which part of the Giza plateau were they enrolled in?
I don't know. I just know they were based underneath the Giza pyramids. There was a facility, the Nazis in World War II. And the name connects to Thoth, the immortal, the Egyptian. It's some connection with an ibis bird would represent Thoth. in Egypt.
What were they trying to find in Egypt, or what did they find in Egypt?
I think they found some kind of life extension technology, and this was effectively this was a major part of the Ibis program, was life extension, regeneration.
Is there some kind of chamber that you could mention, or any particular area?
Yeah, there's the emerald chambers.
The emerald?
Or the emerald rooms. But I think that's in more than one location. I'd rather not talk too much about the emerald rooms. I'll just focus, because it's such a complex subject.
Is this to do with the storage of souls on the earth and the recreation on earth?
This is very much physical. At the Q552, we were being indoctrinated with Nazi principles, Germanic principles.
Were you indoctrinated by Nazis?
Yeah, it was Nazi. It wasn't just Nazis there was a big Nazi presence. Some of the philosophies were indoctrinated with there. You see those philosophies in Germanic organizations to this day, like the Odinist Fellowship in this country. The philosophies are based around, obviously, the creation of an Uberman, a Superman. They see life on Earth as a means to an end. They're not trying to get somewhere else. They're not trying to get to heaven or another planet. They want to become physically immortal in this body, on this Earth, and stay here. Now, we're also indoctrinated with the Germanic belief in endless warfare. That would be our reality once we stayed here physically. Our reality would be endless warfare, and there'd be periods of rest.
Purely to maybe reorganize the logistics, or?
They talked about the 1,000-year Reich, 1,000 years of peace, which would be periods of rest in between the warfare, and then there would just be a continuous cycle. And that was effectively how they indoctrinated us to be assassins when we were older, so we could keep functioning. If we were concerned about the next hit and had anxiety about that, we wouldn't be able to carry it out and function. But if in our mindset, if we believed that we were designed for endless warfare, it would never stop, we would just accept that and be relaxed when we were involved in assassination.
And what kind of assassinations, or what kind of missions are we talking about here?
This is in numerous countries, many different ways.
So it's are we sort of going and doing a 1, 2, 3 bump somebody off, or just different types of assassination?
A lot of it was standard gunplay. I mean, that came later on down the road, obviously. We were actually raised in this facility as babies. So from 1976 to 1979, we were raised in this base. Where it was in the mountains, it was underground, but it was above ground, the main entrance. It was like an aircraft hangar. And
what kind of general area are we talking about? What can you describe it?
It's in the mountains. It's a very private location near Nelson, just near Nelson in the mountains.
Would there be a mountain name you could name?
It's near, I think I'm not sure the mountain name. I know that there's a logging compound nearby, and there's an old access route in the logging compound that actually takes you to the base in the mountain. And Nelson's a very small town. Again, the above ground section of it was an aircraft hangar, and when we were first brought there as babies.
So is it got a runway and landing place, or?
It's fenced off, high fences, and it has a runway in front of the aircraft hangar. You come in, the aircraft hangars is sort of fenced around, the runways here and the aircraft hangars here.
Yeah.
It's quite a big building. But as babies we slept in the aircraft hangar. often because it was essentially a trauma centre, so they wanted us to be exposed to the cold. And there was sets of cots in there.
So this is high up, I mean it's a couple of thousand feet up.
High over the Rocky Mountains, very high. It's near Banff National Park.
Right.
So we were kind of being exposed to the elements, essentially. We slept there in the aircraft hangar with the doors open. And there was rows of cots, and we were under 24-hour armed guard at all times, so we couldn't be rescued from that facility because there were factions there that would rescue us at the first opportunity. The people that
Like the parents or the
special forces groups. We were all put in SUVs, convoy of them, to be driven down to another base in America, Dulce, Mexico, yeah, being driven, transported down to there in a convoy. And I remember we hadn't got that far out of the base, I think we were still in the mountains, and a helicopter seemed to come out of nowhere. Small special forces group came out, and there was a shootout, and some of the guards shot the children. Some of the SS guards shot the children before they could be rescued. Some of the children, but most of us were rescued, and we were brought to a building in Toronto. We were in the top level of the building. You could look out across the whole area, and people that guarded us they wore black uniforms, and they wore black masks, but sometimes they wore the ultra-modern SS uniform.
what's that?
It's kind of like your standard SAS Black Ops uniform. Black boots, black trousers, black top, but it has chest plates and there's leather around the arms, and it has the SS double root, which is the SS symbol. And
what era are we talking about? 70s?
this was 1976 when we were first taken there. Maybe.
So that means that's the SS wearing those uniforms in Canada. So they must have authority to do so.
There was some kind of internal war going on in the military and in the intelligence community.
So are you saying this is therefore a Nazi organization that's doing this?
Yeah.
So by inference, it means that the connections with AL499 and the other places in the UK must be essentially under Nazi control, or is that NSA?
Well, this is it, you see. There's a big Nazi element within the NSA, because this was officially an NSA facility, Q552 in Nelson. This was an NSA base, officially, the Q552 facility in Nelson. There's a major Nazi element within the NSA.
So that essentially is saying that the NSA is a Nazi organization and a survivor organization from World War II.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fairly accurate statement.
So de facto, World War II was won by the Nazis.
I wouldn't say they won, but I wouldn't say they lost either.
It survived their...
Survived. Yeah. In an underground fashion.
If the NSA is essentially protecting the Nazis, or the Nazis are running the NSA,
yeah,
is that what you're saying?
I'd say that this faction is running MI6. Just to go off topic slightly before I carry on about what happened at Q552, my main contact in MI6, he's a director of special operations, a man named Alfred Bonner.
Is this your current contact, or was your contact?
He's been my contact for years, and he's my current contact. I've carried out many assassinations under his instruction. Alfred Bonner was a director of security at Dulce at the time of the Dulce rescue.
Now, there's been a book published by Pilkington, I think it is, because that correcting saying the whole Dulce thing's a fraud. They've stuck bits on the lines to make it look as if what's going on.
Dulcie is real. Dulcie's 100% there.
So, I mean, why do you think there'd be elements within MI5 publishing books saying this stuff's wrong and it's shadows and it's a fraud?
I'm not really interested in the whole...
This is a recent book that's been published.
I'm not really interested in all that. I know Dulcie's real. It's an important place for the New World Order.
What's the function of Dulcie? I mean, we've heard of certain underground things which were released in the late 70s. Is there anything new about it? Is it current?
I've got a friend in the CIA who works at Oak Ridge National Laboratories in Tennessee, and he often works down at Dulcie. I mean, he sent me pictures of the first level. I've got colour photographs. And it's not really, the first level isn't high tech. It's kind of just a damp old base, like sort of it's a bit run down, the first level. Not what you'd expect to see at all. The old elevator shafts and things.
Are you able to provide those pictures at all?
Yeah. I think they were released on Project Avalon a couple of years back.
Right.
I can show you those pictures. But when you go down the levels, it does get more advanced.
Have you been down to those levels, or have you been shown?
There is connections with Ibis and Dulcie. Dulcie is essentially officially it's a psychiatry centre. When the employees walk around the facility, there's certain sections with people in like hospital rooms, almost like prison rooms in a way, but not with bars, like plastic windows, thick plastic, and you have people there in hospital gowns and sitting on their beds, and the briefing is that they're incurably insane, and that they're doing high-risk drug treatments on the insane. It's actually a top-secret psychiatry facility. That's what they're first told when they go in there. So,
and then they never come out?
These people?
Yeah.
I think a lot of them don't come out. There's as you go these particular hallways in Dulcie, these rooms they're curved round, and every kind of 12 rooms you have an operating theatre. Things people are taken out as operating theatres. Yeah, and the Q552 facility in Canada, in Nelson, there was a lot of Nazi psychiatry
what's their function
going on there.
What are you talking about conditioning?
Well, for instance, at the facility they were, it was essentially a trauma centre. Now, they did a lot of conditioning with us with wild animals. They used Canadian wolves, they used snakes, they used cats, wild cats, and tigers and things. They were giving us the attributes of wild animals. They were subjecting us to for when we were older, for all-terrain warfare, jungle warfare, Arctic warfare. So we had the attributes of wild animals.
How do you get the attribute of a wild animal?
They used, they set up, I think it was the second level down at the Q552, they set up a kind of pen, 30 feet wide. They set up this pen, they put the babies in the pen, and they put wild animals in the pen. They might put snakes in there, or wolves. Only one type of animal at a time. They didn't mix the animals, it was always one type. Now this pen was very similar to a Skinner box they use in psychiatry.
What's a Skinner box?
A Skinner box is famous psychiatrist Skinner, I forget his birth name. He designed this box, and they put babies in it, and they put animals in with the babies, and they were doing cognitive behaviour testing, how the babies would react to the animals. And they would, this particular device, they put us in there, and they set up screens in the corners of the pen, and people's faces would be put on the screens, enlarged, and the faces would call us and get our attention. We'd look, and then the faces would start talking to us. And then the faces would look like they were changing into half human, half whatever the animal was. So if it was a snake, if they were putting snakes in, the person talking would start talking to us, and then his face would change into half human, half snake lizard. And George Bush Senior was the main handler of that particular facility, and his face would often come on the screen and talk to us, and he would do very much the reptile with the snakes. That would be his area.
Was that something that was done on a recorded type of a level, or was it he did it personally?
He was on the screen. I'm not sure if he was there. He was there sometimes physically, but I mean the guy travels all around the world to all different bases. He's a major programmer, so I don't know. He could have been on the other side of the world, and he would come on.
Is this something that you experienced directly?
But I saw him. He used to talk to me.
What age were you when this happened?
This was 76. I was a baby. The Queen Mother as well. She was a programmer there. She would, her face would be flashed on the screen, but her speciality was wolves. Whenever they put the wolves in with us, she would come on and she'd talk to us, and she would start to change into half woman, half wolf-like face on the screen.
Was this done by some kind of electronic video effect, or?
I don't know. So at the Q552, they'd slowly been cybernating us through surgery, and essentially creating a cyborg soldier. Now the surgeons at the place in Toronto, they cut us open, and apparently they were like, what a mess, you know. And they tried it, and they were thinking about trying to remove it. But then it turned out that this technology was integrated into us. It couldn't be removed. It was actually a natural part of our bodies.
Is it detectable in any way?
I'm sure it is.
So are you saying that we could somehow, if we looked around the place, we could check out your cyborgs? If you went to one of those scanners in the airports, would they see it? The new scanners?
Yeah, that's interesting. Apparently, bone is a type of metal that I'm not a scientist, but it's something to do with being off the periodical chart. It's not a metal that's known to man, so it won't set off standard metal detectors. I've been told the closest thing we can compare it to on this planet is a mixture of gold and diamond. It's extremely hard.
Is it sort of grown round it?
Apparently that is put in by some, it's nanotechnology. This whole layer of mechanical arm around the bone. The bone itself is apparently metal, this type of metal. And it's built with nanotechnology. That is apparently, they put some like worms or something, metallic worms, and they lay eggs, something like that. It builds it.
Is there a process name there? You think there's any kind of...
I think it's connected to the person, the name of the Osiris program, Proteus program.
So something you look up on the internet as such.
This stuff's never been talked about. Again, they're slowly cybernating soldiers.
What's the program name involved with that? Or where is it happening? How's it happening in other facilities?
It's the umbrella project of Ibis, with numerous projects in that umbrella, including Mannequin. So yeah, these surgeons wanted to remove it because they didn't understand it.
So by removing it, will it cause more damage, so they had to leave it?
This is stuff that integrated into us, so they actually classified a new life form, scientists after that. They classified us, they called it we were ascended machine technology.
Ascended machine technology,
essentially a cyborg with a soul. And they developed a new law of robotics around them. And new science around them.
Does this develop onto the super soldier program?
Yeah, because they wanted to do things like they wanted to jump out of a plane without a parachute and land in the sea or in the jungle, run 40 miles through the jungle and then take out your target and be picked up. Cyborg.
Is that what the coma hospitals are about?
I think that was the early experiments with that stuff, but they perfected it now. They don't need that, they don't need body parts from other humans. For every enhanced soldier,
are you able to develop anything more on that story?
Well, this came later, all these operations.
What do you mean by later, in the 80s?
Well, there's so many. I mean, the operation in Malaysia, for instance, that was a jungle warfare operation.
And on what grounds and what type of military action are you talking about?
The 2007, myself and another individual drove up to London. We travelled to South London. It was around the Elephant and Castle area. Now, an SUV pulled up with MI6 operatives in that. We were given a briefcase. The briefcase had the pistol that I've used for years for assassinations, which is a 9mm Smith & Wesson with a pearl handle, and there's a symbol of a black dragon on the handle. And I call that gun Drago. And we were given that briefcase with that pistol. There were these small devices in there, cubes, which kind of artifact. They're very old pieces of hardware.
What do you mean by old? You talking about ancient technology?
I think it's an Egyptian connection, maybe thousands of years, maybe older, very old. Looks like little puzzle boxes, small cubes, a bit like a Rubik's Cube. They're metal around the side and engravings. And they're simply, you hold them in front of your certain energy centers and you focus your brain waves through them. So if you have...
So are you saying that the handles of the gun or the crystals have got a signature to you so that you can only use it?
Yeah, that's right. The Drago only I can use. I mean, Drago has alien technology incorporated into it. It has special types of bullets that have been...
So it's an ordinary bang gun?
No, it has special type of bullets that have engravings on the bullets, and a special type of metal. Because when you...
so you are shooting a different type of being?
If you...
Not just shooting an ordinary person then?
If you're going to shoot an enhanced soldier or intelligence operative, a Glock 17 is not going to do it. I mean, it's the chest plate's reinforced, the slug won't go through it, or the organs are protected.
So is the bullet essentially going to form a nanotechnology on it that breaks the structure of whatever it's hitting?
I think so. And there's apparently these bullets are blessed by something to do with the Vatican. And they
this brings a new meaning to the term Vatican assassin.
Yeah.
So is it designed to go through some kind of psychic shielding of some description?
It's both, it's physical and the psychic aspect.
So it's got to break through some kind of thought-based force field?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the engravings and the blessed by the Vatican.
Have you ever been involved with off-planet functions?
Yes.
And when I talk about off-planet, there's extraterrestrial, physically in this universe, or has it been through a sort of portal of some kind, like into a different dimension?
This was Sirius, a planet on Sirius. This was...
what was involved there?
This was a transport from the facility in London. Mid-90s. Transported on the underground tube system through a Stargate from London to a planet on Sirius.
Is there a particular train station that is a Stargate?
There's these Stargates in London.
So you go. So that's basically near Westminster.
Yeah, I mean, there's a hotel on Park Lane. And there's an underground car park there. You can drive into that. If you've got the clearance, go down the lift. And you can get into the lower sections. If you've got the clearance, get on the train through the Stargate to this planet into it. It's like a water well with a big landmass in the middle. There's a facility on the ocean bed, which is a perfect replica of the Pentagon.
Why does it have to be a perfect replica of the Pentagon?
Or the Pentagon is a perfect replica of this facility.
All right.
That's more correct.
Yes.
But I think this facility in Syria has been there thousands of years.
So that means they must have known about this and seen it. Obviously, the building.
Well, they've been there. The people, I think the people that built the Pentagon have been to this place. And it's interesting because I think it's divided into like 7. It's a Pentagon within a Pentagon within a Pentagon. Each section of the facility houses a different alien race. It's actually an artificial intelligence facility.
The facility is an intelligent.
It's an artificial intelligence. It's actually an AI-based computer system controls the facility and controls each alien race in each section of the facility. It's all included in Project Ibis data that's been released on Camelot and Kerry Cassidy.
Right.
So all people need to do is type in James Casbolt Ibis, and in those papers and that data on Camelot, I'm talking about the physical computer system, how it operates.
Are they essentially vehicles being used by the agencies to disinform or inform or both?
I'd probably say it's a mixture.
Yeah.
You know, I sent you the briefing report about what happened in St. Ives a couple of weeks back, which was in broad daylight. The ship was shot down. There was jets over my daughter's school, military jets. Next thing, this was in 3:15 in the afternoon. The ship was shot down. It came down in the back garden on Park Avenue. Police, fire brigade.
And there was some kind of octoform?
They sealed the roads off. I got sent up there. They got sent in, and there's paper reports in the papers about the fire breaking out. And there was just another fire. A car had been set on fire a couple of hours before by the military shooting alien ships down, because it's World War III human-alien war. People say it's disinformation. They want to create an alien threat. They're sending PLFs in. These are all PLFs, and it's all a big setup to stage World War III, stage an alien invasion. It is not. There is groups working with there's human groups working with aliens to stage an alien invasion, but there's a real alien invasion.
I mean, well, the real one's going on
at the same time. This is,